Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Kiss Down Under race out on Zwift. Riders today are going to be tackling the Volcano flat course. It's actually the flattest course out on Zwift for 4 laps, though. It's going to be blazing fast, I think. 31 miles, 50 kilometers, and it is a mass start race today. Real quick about what the race is that you are going to be watching here. It is a KISS race, so power-ups are allowed at all times. In most, like all KISS races, it is fully gamified. All things in-game are allowed. So that means you can use a TT bike, and as well as using the power-ups that you do gain as you go through the start-finish banners. They will not be going through the sprint banner at all on this course or the KOM, so they will only have one opportunity per lap. Oh, I'm sorry. There's also the Volcano, though. They do go through the Volcano, so there will be 2 opportunities to grab power-ups out on course. The categories are A, B, C, and D, but they all started together in a mass start out there today. So we do have 2 feeds coming through to us from Zwift. If you're unfamiliar with the game that is this massive multiplayer online cycling game, this is a whole bunch of people actually from all over the world that are able to interact with each other through riding their bicycles in this massive multiplayer online on a trainer from their homes, the comfort of their homes, or a shop, or wherever it may be set up, with real power being communicated into the game. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner for right now, A. Dunn, who's actually the leader in the eCrit series that he's participating in on the East eCrit series on Tuesdays, looking to try and win that series for the land down under in Australia there and get into the final live event by winning that series. Current series leader, actually, A. Dunn there at the front. 142 beats per minute. You can see all the metrics for the game in the upper left-hand corner here that the riders are putting out in order to move these avatars forward from their bikes. So like you would in any other game, there are controllers, but the controllers are the power of your legs coming through the pedals into the game. This being a flatter course out here, it was somewhat of a fast start as usual. They always are out on Zwift, but the flat course is also going to encourage a lot of drafting out here in a pack. As you can see, these riders are all stuck together, and anyone who's familiar with bike racing will know that drafting is a huge part of racing on the road. The draft can give you up to 60% less effort or more actually while sitting in the draft, and just in real life, and just like that in Zwift as well, you do get a draft on the riders, so they do tend to bunch up just like in real life, causing a peloton Grupo Compacto happening in order for riders to rest on the wheels of the others. Done here at the front, 152 beats per minute. As you can see, 4.2 watts per kilogram coming from KK Lim there from Innovation Cycles out of Korea. Then we do have D. Miller there right on the wheel, now making his way to the front. This is one of the only sections out on course where there is a little bit of an uphill grind, where we may be able to see a little bit of attack here. D. Miller now coming into this 3.3% gradient. We may see on this first lap some of the first splits in the peloton, or in the main front group of the A's here actually, as they make their way up into the Ocean Boulevard's next section that is into the windmills, as well as into the marina near all the boats over here. As you can see from the helicopter view, there's the pack starting to split up a little bit. I'm assuming we're going to see a few of the C and B riders start to fall off as the pace does get upped anytime it does go uphill out on Zwift. Usually 4 laps though, plenty of time with 50K total. Only 2.6 miles in 31 miles total is what we're going to be looking at. I am seeing Jay Hardy hanging out in channel. Good to see you, Jay Hardy, over at the Twitch channel. I can also see we've got a few over at Mixer. If you have any questions over at the Mixer channel, let us know, and we will go ahead and answer those for you as well. So it looks like we are on the central front page over on Mixer. Thanks a lot to Mixer for featuring us. I really appreciate it. We also do have our social media integration coming through over at Zwift's Facebook. So if you would like to interact, there's a couple ways that you can do it. Over at Zwift's Facebook, we will be bringing in any comments through there or questions that are pertinent to the racing. We will also be able to bring in any Twitter as well. We are seeing Kyle Augustin in here looking from Innovation saying, "Go Innovation." A well-known team as of recent days out on Zwift, really letting their presence be known. You can also jump into, as you can see here from the world champion actually, Mr. Scotty Weiss here, hanging out in that Team Experimental kit actually. He rides for Team Experimental in game, but he can give us an idea of what it looks like to tweet at us at Z Community Live. As you can see in his tweet there he is hanging out with Noah, his son, chilling out on the bike, it looks like in real life. But that is an example of how you can go ahead and interact with us through our Twitter as well. And we'll go ahead and bring all of your comments on in. What's up, Chalk9483? Good to see you over at the Mixer broadcast. So, Kayland up at the front here. I haven't seen Tom O'Kayland actually from the KRT team in quite a while. Now, I know Tom, he's a mountain biker. Tends to like it when things go uphill here, but at such an early time here, going off the front, you know, trying to get away very early like this, a lot of times can pay off if you get enough space. And if he gets enough space here and can hold it at 5 to 6 watts per kilogram for a while, and then maybe fade down into more of just a 5 steady, he may be able to make something of this. D. Miller may be seeing this as a little bit of a threat. A lot of riders, though, I think, thinking just such a long race on a flat course that this is not going to be a threat. Dunn, though, making his way to the front going, okay, there's somebody up the front. Kayland is a threat here. Kicks it into 8 watts per kilogram. And the reason that he's going in those orange numbers, has that avatar up and out of the saddle, is because he does not want the rest of the riders to grab his draft and get dragged right on up to this front rider. Old Kayland and Dunn going off the front here will be a serious threat, as they're both very strong riders, some of the strongest we've ever seen out on Zwift. Current leader in the E-Crit series, making his presence known. Counters immediately goes right on past Kayland, it looks like here. Jacobson now following up. Now we do have 3 off the front. It looks like from the helicopter view, Hazelsted's getting there as well. Here is the pack, though, being splintered at this point. Everyone just trying to hold that wheel right in front of them, looking for a draft. Nobody really able to bunch up at this point. It is about 2 seconds between all of them. A few now dropping off the back, biting the dust. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 riders. Let's go ahead and see who is unable to hold on to this pace. We do have an innovation boy just hanging on. M. Elias here, super strong rider coming out of Australia. He's actually hanging out in the top spots within the, not the top spots, but somewhere in the top 25, I believe, in the E-Crit series, actually. So a lot of E-Crit boys actually showing up for a little bit of training, it looks like. We've got Spinach here as well. Kayvon Spinach from Innovation. Martin is there from the KRT. Looks like he is being dropped off, though, and maybe unable to hang on. 180 beats per minute. A part of the B category race, though, so he may be able to jump in with some of the other riders and still grab a podium spot. But we do have up front, hinting here from the B category, actually, Innovation coming out of New Zealand, that's going to be able to get an advantage. As a mass start race, that is a part of the mass start races that is a little bit different, though, for the categories getting mixed together. So riders in the B, C, and D category can all gain advantage by jumping onto a few faster riders, actually, from the front ends of the field. So we do have some B riders getting some advantage here by hanging out with these A boys up toward the front. They are just about to take the left-hand turn past the water fountain here. Some of the newer features out on Zwift, or newer landmarks out there. One of the coolest landmarks I like is the water fountain with Scotty the squirrel there. Pretty cool. Now this is the gap that we are seeing here to the chasers. There, Martin still off the back. This is one of the most difficult places actually to close the gap. I've done a lot of KISS 100 races on this specific course, and we do see off the back still the Innovation boy, or I'm sorry, the KRT boy Martin here, and the speeds are so incredibly high on this downhill. 173 beats per minute. We saw it all the way up into 180. It is only 6 seconds, but with a gap of 6 seconds and a large pack up ahead, it's probably going to keep on going out. 32 miles per hour, as we can see here. Martin only able to hold on to 30. He is unable to get the advantage of the front men in this group, hammering away at 3 to 5, 6 watts per kilogram. Zawodowski there making things fast. D. Miller up at the front here, 4.1, 4.3 watts per kilogram. Dropping to 929, though. We'll see if perhaps Martin will be able to close this down. He's still 167, 168. He had to allow that heart rate to come back down, though. As a B rider, again, that is going to be for these categories, 4.0 watts per kilogram is the assumed functional threshold power that a B rider can hold. The reason that is because they want all the categories to be about the same level, so that when you jump into an A category race, you have somebody that's around your same ability. And so the ability level for anybody who's in an A category race would be 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for your functional threshold power. So that's essentially how many watts. The watts are in the upper left-hand corner here that currently Martin is holding. 303, 274, 166 beats per minute here. And that correlation to how much he weighs, dividing those watts by how much he weighs in kilograms, has a ratio that you can see in the right-hand side here, 3.6, 3.5 watts per kilogram of weight. And so that is a really good ratio for figuring out how strong you are on the bike. And a functional threshold power is how many watts you can hold for 1 hour straight. So you can do some tests to get that FTP, an FTP test it's called, and that gives you a good idea of how strong you are on the bike. You divide that by your watts, or by your kilograms, and you get a watts per kilogram ratio. And if you are 4.0 or higher on that ratio, you are an A category rider in Zwift. B categories are 3.2 to 4.0. C categories are 2.5 to 3.2. And D category riders are 2.5 or less. So everybody who jumps into Zwift has somebody to race against at their level is the idea there. And up toward the front now, we are seeing, though, for the A category, Dunn now making the attacks. This is going to be the main place. There's 2 ramps here that are pretty intense, 4.4, 4.6, 5% gradient. A lot of these riders are feeling that gradient right now on their smart trainers. If they do have a smart trainer that is hooked up to Zwift, they will feel the resistances actually as there are elevation changes. Now, we did say this is a very flat course, the flattest course out on Zwift, but there is this little double ramp here, this 2-tier climb into the volcano actually, and this is going to be the main place that we do see the breaks happen out on course here. We do see it toward the front here. Dunn still hammering away. We've got KK Lim there out of Korea. Gooding there from Innovation as well. Hinton is there. Looks like Innovation is out in force to try and take this W today. We are seeing over at ZwiftPower.com though. Also, let me try and get. It looks like Kate Sue is in there as well. We also have, it looks like Huang Kolis TP. A lot of riders coming out of Japan as well as Korea. We are seeing Taiwan jumping into the mix. So a lot of the South Pacific actually jumping in, not just out of Australia and New Zealand, but a whole ton of riders here coming from that area as it is coming into their colder season, and people are jumping onto the bike. Belgium Soldier 4 hanging out over the mixer says hi, how's it going? Good to see you. And we are seeing Aaron Dunn here saying hi, go WP Taz. So Aaron Dunn, it looks like, recently saying something over at the Twitch channel. So not sure he's typing anytime soon though, as there was an attack there just a moment ago from Dunn. Is he still hanging on here? Did he make that break? I'm looking back through and there he is. Yep, still in and amongst the group riding for that WP Test. They do use that in Gamba kit. And some of you might be wondering, what are you talking about? There are teams in game. Yes, there are definitely teams in game. If you head over to ZwiftPower.com, you can see the teams that people are riding for on the live tab, actually, that is for this race. Over at ZwiftPower.com, you will be able to see all the rides and races that they track through a back-end API to Zwift that brings in that information from the riders. And there's watchers out on course and different ways that they're able to bring in that information. And then it does give you their team that they're riding for, as well as the current metrics that they're putting out and the metrics they put out throughout the race. If you do not have a team, you can actually put on your login. You can log into ZwiftPower.com and put on your profile that you're looking for a team. So that people know that you're up for recruitment if you're interested in jumping into a team. It does definitely matter for trying to grab W's out there for racing. Teams are not just about racing, though. There are teams that are out there that are all about just encouraging each other on. There's the AHDR team, which has been showing up to racing a lot lately, but that's a new thing for them. That's one of the largest group rides. I think the largest, actually. Excuse me, largest group ride out on Zwift, the Aussie Hump Day ride, actually. And they've got their own team that's not necessarily all about racing, more about getting together out on course, having camaraderie, and doing a group ride together. Now they're starting to jump into and getting some more high-end racers, it looks like, though, into the racing a few times. But then you've got a team like Innovation or Vision Cycling or Team Experimental, KRT, which are really about the racing scene. But there's a lot of different teams out on Zwift. So if you're looking for some camaraderie or looking for maybe a group ride to jump into, ZZRC is another one. They've got a whole ton of group rides that are about pacing, not racing. That's like their whole motto, actually, is we pace, not race. And that's a team that's just about hanging out on course, out on Zwift. So out on Watopia today, there are a couple other courses you can get involved, you can get into actually as well. The London course as well as the Richmond course. And they switch up the course that is live different times throughout the month. But today out on Watopia, 4 laps, 1 lap done. And it looks like Spinach now making his way to the front with an arrow power-up. He actually looks like was tactically using that arrow power-up through the start-finish line there, as he was using it maybe for the double power-up bonus he might be able to get. That's a little bit of a random number game that you can play out there. You pop your power-up as soon as you're about to come underneath that start-finish banner, and then maybe get lucky enough to have a second arrow power-up and be able to use that immediately. It looks like this one's lasting a really long time. Is this over 30 seconds? Maybe he did grab 2 here as the Innovation Boy. No, maybe I think it was just 1. Does get a good amount of gap, though, from that arrow power-up, up to 185 beats per minute. It looks like Innovation is now starting to play the cat and mouse game here a little bit in order to throw riders off the front and force others to chase. Halselstead here, 7 seconds here. It doesn't look like it's going much of anywhere. Kalen, Miller, Walker, with all of these innovation boys, if we look down from the overview here, all of the Alienware kits there that you see, those are all innovation riders actually, that because they've kind of adopted that in-game kit for their team. And they're just sitting in and allowing others to make the chase. They're not going to chase down the rider who's off the front now. Van Spinach has 7 seconds here. Miller now making his way to the front though. Sea Rider supposedly, I don't think that's correct, hanging out with these boys at the front. We'll have to double check that over at zwiftpower.com and see what kind of power he's been putting out for the duration of the race here. D. Miller, it looks like, according to the results so far, he's actually not showing up just yet. So we'll have to wait and see what does show up here. But we are seeing most of the riders right around 3.7 at the lowest coming from Van Spinach so far, up to 4.4, 4.5 is the highest, and that's mainly because it is a flatter course. We're not going to see quite as many riders putting out huge efforts up front because of the tactics that get played out on the flatter courses. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to be working a ton at the front and just allowing other people to draft off of you and use you in the race. Van Spinach is going to be rising in that watts per kilogram he's been putting out for the duration of the race, as he is off the front here trying to hold on to a gap. But we do see Dunn, the current leader in the E-Crit series. Not the part, that series is not a part of this race today, but definitely a series that's going on right now that is going to have a live event at the end of it after September 19th, I think it goes out till. Every week they do have these races on Tuesdays, and Tuesdays 2 races, the East and the West race. Dunn is the current leader in that series, and definitely want to watch out for the win here in the Down Under race here today as well. Van Spinach now still only with 5 seconds, looks like. Halselstead here just setting a steady pace. Nobody really under threat, it looks like here. 155, Grupo Compacto here in the underground as they come through the underground Ocean Boulevard at this point. I'm getting a lot of questions, look like, over at the Mixer channel. So we're going to go ahead. They are saying, what is this? What's going on in front of us here? So we're going to do a quick little look at, as this is a little bit calmer point out on the course before they hit the volcano again. What is Zwift? And we got a great little video from Zwift, actually, that can give you an exact idea of what is taking place here. This is a massive multiplayer online game that is controlled with actual power from bicycles, actually, for riders. Any bike will hook up to it along with a speed sensor or a smart trainer or a power meter, actually. And you can check out Zwift.com, actually, and there's a whole list of ways that you can hook up. But here's a great little idea of how exactly this works. So that actually is Eric Min, one of the executives over at Zwift, logging in, showing you exactly how it works. The riders here, as you can see, metrics showing up, giving you an idea of what is happening in front of you as far as your power output goes. Feeling the gradient there is really being highlighted there. You can feel the gradient in game. You have to have a smart trainer in order to get that gradient to the there is a cool little highlight here right now that is going to show the jerseys that can get awarded to you in game. There is a workout mode though that is not going to be a part of the group rides yet. They are going to have group workout mode coming. They're working on it, but it does change the full UI though, so that you are given intervals to hold certain amounts of power. You can even use an erg mode that forces you to hold the power that's in the interval. They are going for the KOM here. There's jerseys that do get awarded in the game, so as you go up different climbs or sprint sections, you can go for those jerseys. If you get the fastest time, you can grab the KOM jersey and hold it for 1 hour straight, actually. Looks like Eric lost the battle there between him and the girls. And so that is what the real life experience looks like matched with the game there. Real power, indoor cycling outdone, or cycling made social as well, as another one of the taglines from Zwift. So that is what this is, for those who are asking. No problem, Janal. very, very happy to help over at the Mixer channel. So now we are, looks like, through the Ocean Boulevard underground section there, going through the water now. It looks like we do have M. Poli right along with K. Thompson now that we're looking at 158 beats per minute. Still fairly Grupo Compacto up toward the front. We did have a little attack, though, it looks like, from Dunn coming out of Ocean Boulevard. Like we said, that little 3% gradient for about 30 seconds is a place out on course today that could cause things to get separated. It doesn't look like it's gone much of anywhere just yet. The Innovation Boy Van Spinach was caught. He was one of the cats that was sent off, or excuse me, the mouse that was sent off the front, but the cats chased him down. It does look like another Innovation Boy, though, Elias is going to go for it here. They're going to send two at the same time, perhaps. KK Lim going right along with him. Looks like Van Spinach here trying to create a group. It looks like at 9.2 watts per kilogram. Kalen, knowing that this is a moment, watching the Innovation Boys very closely. Kalen actually goes ahead and uses a drafting power-up. There are 3 power-ups you can use in game. The drafting power-up reduces the amount of power that you need to put out in order to hang on to a wheel. There's also the arrow power-up we saw Van Spinach use earlier, which reduces the drag on your avatar. The most powerful one lasts for 30 seconds, gets you some serious speed. There's also the feather power-up, which reduces your weight by 1 watt per kilogram. On an uphill section is the smartest place to use that. That's about a 15-second power-up, actually. So, and then we are seeing, thanks a lot, Zwift Community Live, for the Get Started link over at the Mixer. So it looks like the breaks are starting to happen a little bit here, though. Coming from the camera up top here, 3 now falling off the back. It does look like a few more due by, oh my goodness, actually done here after attack over that 3% gradient out of the underground tunnel, actually on the back foot now, 160 beats per minute here. Maybe just a train ride for him, I'm not sure. Not expecting this from the eCrit Series leader. 6 watts per kilogram to hold on to. It looks like crazy character name guy here, as well as C. Lang there's coming 70.8 watts per kilogram, able to get back on terms. Doesn't look like Dunn's going much of anywhere just yet. I thought maybe he'd be in a little bit of a spot of bother there, but not happening. Now we're looking up for the front here. Kalen now backing off a little bit. Nobody's going much of anywhere. Still have about 10 to 15 riders in this front group today. So solid effort there from Dunn to get back on terms with the front end of the race. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything happening over at the social medias. We do have Kyle Augustine coming through here saying spinach is crazy. I believe he's talking about the guy. Spinach is a crazy good superfood, but I believe he is talking about Van Spinach in game here, and I think he's maybe giving a little vote for him, perhaps taking the W today. We'll have to wait and see how that ends up panning out. Let us know who you think is going to take the win, though. You can see it's not quite there where we can make too many predictions. I'm going to go ahead and say for the favorites, though, we've got Dunn, Kalen. Looking through, we can head on over to zwiftpower.com and get some more information, though, about their past results as well in their racing careers out on Zwift. Jay Birch here, actually, from the B category. Looks like he's still in it amongst the front runners, actually. Maybe watch out for him. How much watts per kilogram has he put out so far? Only 3.4. If he is a sprinter and on a flatter course, he might be able to pull something off here. We do have an attack, it looks like, here from Dunn. Was off the back. He's going with Kalen. It is a straight line at this point. That's another spot where they can make some things happen because it is a false flat out of the as you can see, we don't have a good view here from the helicopter at this point, but coming out of Ocean Boulevard, it is a false flat, actually, and then heading into a couple little kickers before they take this left-hand turn past the fountain, and then into this super fast couple of S-turns here. It can be a good spot to try and get away through here. One of the best places, actually, to try and get away because the speeds are so incredibly high. If you get a couple of riders to come with you, I've definitely made a couple breaks through here out on course, but it doesn't look like anybody's going just yet as it's all back together. Kalen back at the back here after making an attack, just trying to find a draft and rest that heart rate up. Back toward the front, we do have Walker here coming out of Switzerland, 173. Definitely had a pretty high heart rate compared to a few of the other boys after those attacks. They're done still, 140, nothing much happening. And we're going to see that a lot here on a flatter course. It's going to be just these really, really intense punches over the climbs, trying to break people through those well over VO2 max effort, actually. It's going to be into somewhat of a sprint effort every time they try to break things apart, and just over and over again, loosening up and softening up those legs. They're going to have to keep on throwing those out there And we're going to end up with one or two of them sticking most likely. I have a feeling it's going to be a counterattack that might make it happen, though. Jason Birchmeier coming out of Australia, 9 races total on Zwift. We're seeing this a lot from the Australian riders out on Zwift lately, actually. He's got a second place here in the Kiss Down Under ride. He took a 59th and a 65th in the Aussie Hump Day ride, actually. And we are seeing, though, Kiss Down Under B's grab that second place. Now jumping in amongst the A's, maybe, from this rider, Jason Birchmeier. I'm looking through, though. Also, we do see D. Casey right along with M. Ritchie. Richie's got a 2nd and a 10th here. Is Richie still in amongst his front runners? Dunn's going off the front, though. 2 seconds. Innovation here. Going to probably just stick a man on the front here and pull it in. They might even put a train on the front in order to pull this back in. I'm looking through to see if I can find this Richie, how it's on course here. M. Ritchie Kiss C it's showing. So I have a feeling maybe some of our results are a little mixed up here between the riders, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see if we can get an update here from ZwiftPower.com. I think the actual leaders are a little ways down on the results right now. I am seeing it updating now with the rest of these riders. So I am seeing it looks like A. Hinton here. A few W's recently in the B category. I thought he was going to get an upgrade. He's right on the edge right now at about 3.9 watts per kilogram. So Hinton there just sneaking within the B category right now. Walker is in there as well. He's got a 2nd and a 3rd recently, a part of the A category, 4.2 watts per kilogram coming out of Switzerland. It's amazing to me how many newer riders we are seeing out on course on Zwift lately, with it being the summer season for the European riders even. So that's really cool to see as riders are jumping onto the platform and seeing it as a new way of cycling, not just as a strictly training tool and a way of making it entertaining, but also just a way to get cycling in on a daily basis. We are seeing a bunch of feather power-ups going now at the smartest place to throw those down, which is on the uphill. A lot of time we do see riders saving their arrow power-ups for the flats or the downhills, but if you have that feather, you're going to want to use it on this section, as this is the smartest place to do so, the most uphill that we're going to get throughout the races. They're heading into the volcano for the second time. Are a few going to fall off? We do see Walker here trying to hang on. We were just talking about this rider, actually. Looking at his past results, he does have a 6th place in the KISS Australia East E-Crit Series, actually, followed by the coffee with hot espresso presented by, is that Timo DZ, perhaps? Yep, Timo DZ. He actually took a W in that, actually, in the last time that he did that ride/race. We also seen a 2nd, a 1st in the last month, actually, with him from the WBR rides that he's been doing. So good to see Walker out there, and we'll see if he can hang on with these front runners, as the attacks are definitely starting. Every time they go through here, we're going to have to be watching out for this. You know what? I did make a mistake earlier. They will not be going through the volcano banner. My mistake. This is the other side of the volcano. So there's only one place out on course for them to be able to grab a power-up, and that is the start-finish banner out on course. So it is actually the other side of the volcano, I believe, where they will be able to grab that that other power-up if they were going through it on the volcano crit course, where they go through the volcano on the other side, that you can actually see if you take the right view, actually, to see the other side of that volcano. All right, up toward the front now, we do see it is going to be Hazelstead, it looks like, as well as Leonard from Innovation. Unfamiliar with this rider. Kay Leonard looks like a newer rider to the Innovation team, making his way toward the front here. I'm going to take a look and see what his past results are looking like. It looks like a new A rider, a 12th, and a 7th coming from him in the past few races. 77 races out on Zwift, though. Estimated FTP of 350 watts. He grabbed a W in the Aussie Hump Day ride, a 2nd place in a WBR 4-lap. Not a lot of podiums, though, for him besides the WBR, so we'll see if he can up his game here. He did get a 7th in a couple weeks ago in the Kiss Down Under race, and a 12th last week in the Kiss Down Under race. So let's see if Leonard maybe be able to grab a better result here for him, maybe more of a sprinter out on course. Definitely a favored course for the sprinters. I have a feeling it's going to be a large group coming into the finish line together out here today. Going to go double check our social media integrations. Again, if you'd like to tweet at us, you can do so by tweeting at Z Community Live, with any questions, comments, or pics even of your Zwift setup. I know that those are very popular for bringing into Twitter as well as Zwift's Facebook. They do have a setup Saturday that they do a lot of times, so you can go ahead and bring those to us if you would like to show us exactly what it looks like for you to do Zwift. Thanks, Dan, for telling me about this. No problem there, John. Gazi Sphere, good to see you. It looks like Stealth Ninja's over there as well at the Mixer channel. Rogers, good to see you over there as well as always. Mr. What the Heck. So, as far as the other things going on out on Zwift, we do have a promo for the Zwift Academy. Zwift Academy did just launch for the women. Registration is open. It is an initiative to grow women cycling through Zwift, as well as award a professional contract, actually, at the end of Zwift Academy. So as the riders do head into the flatter parts of the
Zwift
course,
Academy opened
we'll
its
go ahead and
doors,
show you guys what
launching a
this
groundbreaking
is all
worldwide
about.
talent search. Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
So Zwift Academy has launched officially. You can head on over to the website there and grab that registration for all the women who would like to get involved. So it looks like the training for it is going to start, I think, this next week. Actually, group rides out on Zwift that are going to be led by women in the community, actually, that you can get involved in. So make sure to watch out for those as well. All right, so C Sora here, it looks like coming from the B category. This is actually our B category and C category coverage as well. We do have a couple of feeds coming through. 354 up is going to be the lead group, but it looks like Sora here out of Japan, right along with D Martin, who was a part of that KRT team that was with the leaders initially. Look how quickly that goes out. Groups out on Zwift travel so incredibly fast compared to individuals all by their lonesome here. So Martin now back with this chase group of 4 off the back from those front runners. Being a flatter course, though, it's definitely going to favor these boys and girls sticking together, trying to pull things back in or hold off the chasers. We're seeing D Chim here, DW, coming out of Korea, holding off SC, as well as another chase group here with WL. D Casey there in the C category here. I think this is the front runners maybe in the C category there, as it is going to be Sisu leading this out. Richie is in there, the rider we were talking about. Hodson as well, coming out of New Zealand there. It looks like this will be the lead group then amongst the C riders as they start their third lap of 4 out here today. Super long race today, actually. It's going to be over an hour of racing, I believe, for at least the C and the B riders. The A riders might be able to pull this off just within an hour. I don't think it's going to happen, actually, though. At 36 minutes, I don't think it takes 6 minutes, actually. We're back with the front runners in the A race here as they come out of the first tunnel, head underneath the old Jarvis tree that is over there, splitting up the tunnels there. As you can see, this is the section out on course where they do head underwater. There is the left-hand turn over to the Watopia Mountain they did just go past. There's plenty of courses out on Zwift in order for you to explore the world of Watopia. There's the mountain course, about a 20-minute effort. I think it's like a 6-mile climb or so. Absolutely insane. And you can actually climb and climb and climb. If you have a smart trainer especially, it becomes really, really great training, actually, with the resistance all the way up toward the top of the Watopia Mountain. I definitely use that for a ton of my training. It's kind of my 20-minute interval repeats is the Watopia Mountain. We are seeing Kaeland. Now there's the first attacks that we've seen in a while here, actually, as T. Kaeland here coming out of Norway makes an attack here. The mountain biker, 9.3 watts per kilogram. Loving it when it goes up here, 106 uphill here. And this is actually a very smart tactic you use here. Uses that aero power up to try and gain as much speed on this flat section after creating a little bit of a gap. And look, it's already out to 4 seconds. We can see what the gaps are being created there from behind. We do see it is going to be Hazelstead able to hang on. We are seeing some drafting power-ups being thrown on. If they can grab onto the wheel, though, that's going to be the important part. The dust is being kicked in their face. They're unable to really see whether or not they have any wheels at this point. That's also another reason why it's a very crucial place to make the attacks, because riders cannot even see if they're holding the gap, actually, and they have to take a look on the right-hand side and see if they're within the seconds. We do see an aero power-up now from Van Spinach. Van Spinach, though, maybe working against his teammates at this point. Why would he pull his teammates in? I'm not exactly sure. He's trying to kick it. Maybe a little bit of the self-interest getting in the way of maybe the team tax and what they could have been played out there. But at the same time, we are seeing 2 seconds between them and the other riders. Perhaps not the best tactic there, though, as he could have let it go and then attacked again in order to close that gap down. We do have plenty of innovation boys up toward the front here, but Miller and the rest do get dragged right back into the group. Maybe they're just seeing that Dunn is off the back as one of the main threats there. Thompson now being dropped off as well. Dunn really suffering today, it looks like, here out on course, unable to hang on with the front runners here. D. Miller now 3.7 watts per kilogram. Does look like a group has been established here. There's definitely not nearly as many avatars hanging out in and amongst this group as there was before that climb. Done now off the back. Thompson there completely faded, full on nuclear, 180 beats per minute at this point. So we're seeing Roger saying for us normal people it takes around 30 to 50 minutes depending on how much training you do. Help me follow what's going on, Epic. Good to see you over at the channel. We are checking out over at the Facebook as well. I am seeing Aaron Dunn actually giving us a little shot there of how things are looking over at the setup here. So this is the setup here coming from Dunn. Looks like he's suffering pretty good right now. The face is like, I just got dropped. Maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see if he can get back on terms. Maybe taking selfies is the reason why he got taken off the back. But thanks a lot for jumping into here. And he says, just got an aero power up, sprint time, baby. Try and grab another one, man, as you need to close that gap. It is about 2 seconds at this point. Looks like he might be able to get back on terms. What an effort, actually, as he was fully off the back a little while ago. So we'll see if Dunn can grab back onto the front end of this race. But it's giving an opportunity here for Kaeland and Spinach as they have 1 second, 15 meters. At the bottom of the screen, as you can see there, 14 meters. That is the gap out to the riders behind. Within 5 meters, there is a draft. So as soon as Kaeland and Spinach see that they're back within 5 meters, they will most likely shut down the attack on the rest of the riders. Innovation still in force, though. As you can see, all of the green Tron bikes and the Alienware kits, they've got the high chances today of taking down this race and most likely winning a sprint finish. We'll have to see if they can pull that off. We still have a lap and a half of racing to go today, though, so going to be a lot of work in order to make it happen still. We are seeing, it looks like, Roger's saying, looks like he failed to get on after the climb out of the water section. Looks like he's going to do so, though, as he's putting in a serious effort, it looks like, and will be back on terms. There is Dunn back in amongst these riders. Taking a left-hand turn, they'll be heading over toward the volcano again. That's the next time we will see any kind of action, most likely. Back into the race for the C's, though, as we can see them heading up and out of the underground tunnel here, Ocean Boulevard. This is definitely the main section for these boys to make the attacks. We do see Sisu here, there, 4.1 watts per kilogram. Again, this is for these riders, 4.1, 4.3 in the C category. That's definitely going to be an over threshold effort, getting into a VO2 max type effort, as the assumption is they can hold 2.5 to 3.2. So anything well a watt or plus per kilogram over your threshold is what you can hold maybe for 1 to 5 minutes tops. And so we do see these riders now backing off a little bit, able to get a little bit of room between them and TP, but TP looks like here is going to be able to hang on. Richie's there still as well from the C category. Hodson able to hang on now as they make their way into the next section on Ocean Boulevard. And Britain is seeing, can you see the motorbike? I can there. What are we talking about with the motorbike? What motorbike are we talking about out there, Britain? Good to see you in the Mixer channel, though. I'd be interested to see how many people over at the Mixer channel are paying attention to the Tour de France. That'd be an interesting, as well as over at the Facebook. If you're watching the Tour de France over at the Facebook for Zwift, I would assume we'll get almost everyone saying a big yes to their following of the Tour de France. What I'd be interested to see is how many at the Mixer and Twitch channel would say that they are following what's happening over at the Tour. And Rogers is hashtagging Sagan Gate. And Britain is saying, I am seeing things. No, there is definitely no motorbike out on course here today. Birch here, although some of the robots or Go-Go Power Rangers might be called so, but we're not seeing any Z-Power up toward the front end of these races. All right, looks like it's gotten dark amongst the C riders with any kind of action, but it's definitely light over on the other side of Watopia here with Dunn and Walker. Hazelstead and the rest here still Grupo Compacto, but they're about to hit the uphill into the volcano in just a second here, where we will see the next attacks most likely. Spinach going from way out, though, as we can see him trying to soften up the legs. And a lot of times that's a move that you do make in order to make sure that people don't have a ton of energy to bring it into such a short effort up and over into the volcano. It's only like 30 seconds to a minute's top. 30 seconds to a minute tops in order to get to the top of that volcano climb, well, the climb into the volcano. So it's not a whole lot of time to try and drop anybody off. And they have about the same fitness level that we're seeing for these riders. If you're able to make this lead group, you probably can continue to make those efforts over and over and over again. So what Spinach is doing here is trying to loosen up those legs, forcing the guys like Miller, Hasselstedt, Sawatsky, as well as Poli, it looks like Walker and others that are not on Team Innovation. He's forcing them to make a chase now at this point. As you can see, the gap is there, 3 seconds out, and forcing them to use up some energy so that the rest of the Innovation boys can maybe cause another gap with a counterattack in order to try and break things apart here and get away from the rest of the group here. So we've got three votes so far over at the Mixer channel saying that they do watch the watch Tour de France, it looks like, so far. We'll have to see how many do come through for that vote. Let us know if you are watching any of the Tour de France at all, and what you're following, and also who your favorite is to win. We'd love to hear what you think there as well. There's also Dunn is letting us know that hurt. He's getting into the at Z Community Live posts here. This is all about the pain cave at this point. Dunn coming into the broadcast saying that absolutely hurt. And Dunn, thanks a lot for the pain face from the cave there, hammering away, it looks like, in order to hang on to the Innovation boys who keep on sending those attacks. Kaylin now taking advantage here a little bit of the climb, kicking up to 7.4 watts per kilogram, 167 beats per minute. Looks like a few at the back here might be in a little bit of bother. Maybe not, though. Walker here, 8 watts per kilogram with that aero power up, 184 beats per minute, though. How many more times can he go into the red like that is going to be the question. Going right on by, though, now resting up 3.7, 3.9. Hinton now up toward the front, 4.6 watts per kilogram, 166 beats per minute, all under control now. It doesn't look like anybody's going much of anywhere. It's kind of Grupo Compacto this time around. I think they're waiting for the final lap here, as usually if riders are in any kind of distress, we would definitely see much more of a strung out line or little gaps. Looks like perhaps Dunn, the only one, finding himself off the back here, 160 beats per minute. And now we've got Johnny Nobbit coming through here with a little bit of opinion on the Tour de France and letting us know about his opinions coming from little Henry there on some baby rage. We've got baby rage in the channel. I absolutely love it. Let's see those emotes popping up over at that's the Dunn face, or maybe Henry saw Dunn's face and was just making a copy of it there over at our Twitter, it looks like. And bring your best Dunn face to the broadcast. That's next up, it looks like. And my head hurts. He looked like my granddad. Do you wear glasses? Britain's bringing all kinds of comments through here, it looks like. And so now back toward the C category race. It does look like they are heading into the fountain section of Italian Village here out on course. Birch, they're still hanging out in that AHDR kit, it looks like. 1.9 watts per kilogram or so. Hasn't been able to drop too many riders off just yet. It looks like still all Grupo Compacto. Rodson's still in there as well. They've got a solid 4-minute gap, though, over the rest of the riders. Not too much to worry about in the C category. So it's just going to be a battle between them for the top 3 positions, perhaps, I believe. Yeah, top 3 positions in the C category, as well as maybe top 10s within the Bs. I'm going to go ahead and give these riders a ride on. That's actually a feature in game for those of you who are not familiar with it, where you can encourage other riders on, and they actually get the ride on above their head. It says right in their feed, Nathan Garrett just gave you a ride on, and it actually goes right into their back pocket. When your ride is over, actually, you go to a little menu. They'll show me you how many you got, who they were from, as well as all of the metrics on your ride. We'll go ahead and show that to you guys and gals after the race today. It looks like these boys are fairly content with just riding together at this point. Not too many attacks coming through at the back end, at the front end of the C race today. All right, now back at the front of the A's. Now we do see Kalen now with an attack here. 1 second, it looks like 5.7 watts per kilogram. This is an interesting moment to go for. It looks like he's going to try and throw his chips on the table here with 1 lap to go and TT away from the rest of these boys. Maybe not a whole lot of interest from the rest of the group so far to see any attacks. This is the 3rd time we've seen him try and go for it. Every time it's been on an uphill section, as well as immediately right from the gun, he did try this as well. Now back into the yellow or red zone. Not quite into the red just yet. We are seeing 166, but that heart rate's steadily rising. As you can see, the wattage is really coming up. He's got a full-on 5 seconds at this point. Maybe going to try and go for a little bit of an RNG. We'll give him some an RNG boost here. Maybe going to throw an arrow power-up or try and grab another power-up as he comes through here. If he does grab an arrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it get popped here. Miller now maybe working with Kalen's. We see him backing off the pace at the front here, not allowing anybody to really keep the pace too high. It is 28 miles per hour here from the group. 29 here coming from these riders. Innovation again here with Van Spinach now countering the attack there from Kalen. Maybe going to get back onto his wheel, not allowing anybody to get the draft from 16 meters between Van Spinach and the rest of the riders in that Alienware kit there. Van Spinach able to get a gap. It looks like Hazelstead knowing that this may be a moment of truth with 1 lap to go. If these 3 can get away, this may be the race. We do see the rider coming out of Taiwan here now hammering away 10.8 watts per kilogram as well, getting the gap immediately. 20 meters is the difference. If they keep throwing these orange numbers off the front over and over again, eventually they will break the riders in the group who don't have the energy left, do not have the sugar left, don't have the nitrous oxide, the glycogen left in the legs to make it happen. And it does look like 2 seconds back to Van Spinach. Van Spinach now popping that feather power up. Interesting spot to be popping that. Is he in a little bit of hurt at this point at 7 watts per kilogram here with a feather power up on not a section that is really known for being used? 180 beats per minute. Van Spinach may be thinking that he had to in order to hang on as the attacks keep on getting pushed out here. And when you go into the red, you're going to use those things as quickly as you possibly can to hold on to those wheels. There might have been a little bit of a threat there, but now we are seeing it is again Poli, K-Lim, all back together. Nobody's gone anywhere yet as they head into Ocean Boulevard for the final time. 24 miles in now, it's a 30-mile race, so watch out, boys and girls. The attacks should start here any moment out on course. And now we are seeing another little tweet here coming from Johnny again. First time Kim Little, Wild Deep isn't racing when a broadcast is happening. Must be fed up with the limelight at Z Community Live, coming from Johnny there. And interesting to see that he's not coming through, actually. It'd be good to see. It's always good to see Kim out on course, but I think he's just hanging out in the broadcast over at Twitch. Enjoying it today. And Kim Little's saying hater. He actually is definitely over at the Twitch channel right now. So, and we are seeing, it looks like Grupo Compacto again. Nobody's gone much of anywhere. How many riders, though, does Innovation have in and amongst this group? That's going to be the question next up. And what are their chances? It looks like it's 50-50 for them at this point, just from a numbers game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders at least, maybe 7, with Leonard there at the back in and amongst this group. And I think it is right around 14 riders, actually. So definitely going to be in their favor in order to grab the W today out on course. So who do you think's going to take it? Let's go ahead and see a vote here. We'll have 2 up, Innovation or someone else. That's the vote today. Is it going to be Innovation that's going to take the W out there today, or will it be someone else? We've got Innovation. KRT is out there as well. Watch out for them. I think that's it for the teams represented. No, Dunn is still out there, actually. Excuse me. WP Taz is represented. So we've got WP Taz, Innovation, as well as KRT with Kalen. But the only cards on the table coming from those other riders are going to be one from each able to throw their straw out there. And it looks like it's going to be Innovation very favored here. Who do you think it's going to be? I'm looking for the votes as they come through here. And we are seeing a couple saying over at the Twitch channel, actually doing some filming with Chris Hoy next Tuesday. Kim Lowe is saying, that's awesome, man. Hello, you Twitch guys. Roger saying, good to see you. Aaron Dunn is saying, it's a strong race, lots of fun, as he types away over at the Twitch channel. Definitely working super hard there. It looks like they're done. I'm going to actually throw my chips in for done. We'll have to see how it works out. And AMP is saying, what is the Tour de France? And what is this, the Tour de France? No, so we will make sure to stick around for the end of broadcast there, AMP Mixtures. We just did do a little video that does a great job of explaining what Zwift is. But for those of you at the front page of Mixer, make sure to stick around. We'll run a couple of videos that give you a good idea of exactly what is taking place right now. Before we finish up here with the end of the race and come into the sprint sections as well as the more uphill sections of the course, I want to real quick go through a couple of the group rides that are out there that you can jump into. There is the AHDR ride that does happen every Wednesday, actually. Make sure to be looking out for that over at Zwift.com/events. We do cover a lot of racing here, but we are going to be adding group rides, actually, into our broadcast. Next week, I think Wednesday will most likely be the first day that we do have one of our ZCL group ride focuses, actually. Make sure to stick around for more updates on that. But there's also the WBR ride. They do multiple rides every day. Excuse me, volume there. Sorry about that, everybody. So WBR, they multiple rides a day in races. Make sure to look out for them over at Zwift. .com/events throughout the day. There's almost a WBR ride happening almost every single day. The HDR ride, a great ride out on Zwift. They actually focus in on keeping everything all together until the final lap a lot of times, and then they kind of unleash the hounds and you can race it all out amongst the HDR. Actually, Aussie Hump Day ride, something to get involved in for sure. Largest ride out on Zwift. They have up to, if you want to ride with like 200 to 300 people out on Zwift, that's the one to get involved with as well. So WBR, World Bicycle Relief Ride, they are actually a sponsor of that team. a great organization that does actually this great fundraiser every year, right around November, December. I believe it's going to be on December 3rd this year. Don't quote me on that one, but they actually do a fundraiser for 24 hours trying to raise as much money as they possibly can for the World Bicycle Relief, where they're giving away buffalo bikes actually to those in need in Africa for transportation, just to do basic transportation. A bike is like giving somebody a car in those areas where it can be life-changing actually. So World Bicycle Relief, awesome organization that has a team in-game that runs pretty much on the hour. You can find a WBR 4-lap or 1-lap race almost. So on the hour, or maybe every 2 hours it is. So make sure to watch out for those. And then there's the AHDR ride, obviously once time a week, the Aussie Hump Day ride on Wednesdays, most popular ride out on Zwift. So make sure to be checking those out. And AMP Mixtures, yeah, that's a great link over at Mixer, Zwift.com. Get started there. That is a great one to go check out how to get involved in Zwift. This is actually riders on real bikes powering these avatars, pushing them forward. Right now, 355 watts there coming from Van Spinich's legs in order to control his avatar in game. So just like in other games, you've got the controller and you're using your hands and your thumbs and pushing things forward. This game is controlled by the power coming from your legs into a bicycle. And any bike can actually attach, any bike that can attach to a trainer or a turbo trainer with a wheel on or wheel off trainer and communicate then from that bike, either a speed sensor with ANT Plus or a Bluetooth can connect to the game. Or with a more accurate power measurement, you can use a power meter. Lots of power meters out there in the cycling market, or a smart trainer that then will actually give you the resistances from the game. Those who are on a smart trainer amongst this group right now are actually feeling that 1.1% gradient up in the upper right hand corner here. You can see the gradient that these riders are actually feeling, as well as the power that they have to push out in order to go up that hill at the speed that they're currently going is all going to be equal between those other riders. Well, equal as watts per kilogram that they have to put out, because that weight does matter just like it does in real life. So that's what's going on here, and make sure to stick around. We'll answer all the questions that you have after the racing is finished, but right now we want to get right back into it, as these riders, just like in real life, you start feeling that butterflies in the stomach and you start getting a little bit nervous. How is this going to play out at the end of this race? The riders are trying at this point to break things apart. You can see these little 1-second gaps actually already starting to form, and the Gruppo Compacto is definitely not as consistent as we saw it earlier. Now as they come around the corner, they're getting packed up a little bit again, but now we got a little bit of an uphill. 6 watts per kilogram there coming from Miller, 167 beats per minute. This is a section, of course, that you can definitely break things apart, as this is one of the fastest sections on the other side. The continuance after an uphill like this can be one of the most threatening points. If somebody finds himself off the back at the back end of this pack, there can be some serious danger if they take that left-hand turn and you lose a wheel past the Italian Village and through the Scotty the Squirrel Fountain, but it doesn't look like anything's going to be happening just yet. Again, Gruppo Compacto, riders waiting, it looks like, for the final kick up and over the top of the climb into the volcano here. But now Walker, 183 beats per minute. Looking over at ZwiftPower.com, we do see that Walker, I'm assuming, is not going to have a whole lot more to work with there, as the live results will let us know what their max heart rates are about, as well in their past races. ZwiftPower.com has an entire list, actually, of all of the past races for these riders. If you click on their avatar, or not on their avatar, but on the link for their name, you can actually see all the past races that they have done out on Zwift, unless they are not attached with an account. Actually, Kay Thompson, the only rider, I think, 216 back actually from the rest of this group, not with one of the newer riders to the world of racing out on Zwift. Welcome, coming out of Australia there. Looks like it may be his first race actually, so nice job out there jumping in and holding on to a solid position actually, just a little ways back from that pack that's been getting away from him at about 4 minutes, maybe a little less than that. But looking over here at KK Lim, it looks like, coming out of South Korea, 50 races out on Zwift, 320 watt FTP, it looks like, functional threshold power for KK Lim. And it looks like he's still hanging in amongst this group. Yep, here he is up toward the front end of the race. 2.6 watts per kilogram. It looks like 170 beats per minute currently for him. He maxes out at around 185, it looks like, for the highest that we've seen from him as of recently. We are seeing a second place for him on, looks like, back on the 22nd of June. He actually hasn't raced since the Kiss Down Under last week, actually. So it's been about 7 days since he's raced. He took an 8th the last time he was in this. Looks like he took a first place in the Innovation Cycling time for the Hurt workout ride. Kiss Down Under back on the 22nd. He took a second, though. So watch out for him for the podium as they make their way into the volcano for the last time in just a moment here. Up in that 165, I think he's got quite a few beats to work with, probably about 20 right now. Not in too much trouble at this point. Weigan here riding for Team Plus 1S. It looks like he's got a second, a third, and a fifth coming out of China. 54 races out on Zwift. And it looks like Weigan here back toward the back of the pack here as they're about to head into the climb. 3.8 watts per kilogram, 158 beats per minute. Looks like his max heart rate has been up in the one. This guy's got a lot to work with yet. Watch out for him. Australia E-Crit Series took a second in that. In the East race this past Tuesday, last week, it looks like, not this past Tuesday. Aussie Hump Day Ride, a win. Zwift Figure 8 race, took a second place. Has quite a few wins, not like a Tim Cartwright, but definitely with 54 races only has won a fair share here. Nobody going off at the front just yet. 156 though coming from Weigan. I think he's got definitely a lot to work with out there on course yet. Zawodzki now making his way to the front. It looks like he may be a threat. The ones to be watching out for are the ones that we haven't been talking about most likely, as they've probably been waiting for this moment right here. Here come all the orange numbers. This is the last time that we actually go uphill in any serious manner before the finish line. Miller now 165 beats per minute here. Hinton now making his way to the front, 7.1 watts per kilogram, 167 beats per minute. Watching out for him for sure. Maybe needs that A category upgrade, as he's always up at the front with these A boys, with that B in his name, within category limits, but I think with always being at the front end, I'm also not the one to make that call. But being a flatter race, maybe just the fact that he has the ability to sit in is probably what that has to do with, as I have seen him off the back actually from the A's if we do get into like a box hill or something like that. So Walker here now 4.3 watts per kilogram, making his way into the volcano now. And it looks like Walker here out of Switzerland trying to get away, maybe not wanting to sprint finish. And we're going to see this most likely from a few other riders. Attacks in this final couple K here. 29.6 in. They got about a mile and a half to the finish line or so. It doesn't look like they're going much of anywhere just yet now, as we are seeing up at the front here. Hinton now again. Weigan now going into 7.1 watts per kilogram, trying to get away. Doesn't want to sprint finish perhaps. 174 beats per minute. Still has about 20 or 15 to 20 beats to work with. Miller now back at the front here. Hazelstead sitting in. I'm watching for who's sitting in. That's the question, because it is going to come down to a sprint finish. Who's resting up? 158 here coming from Hazelstead. Miller there, 167. Deepak, 172. Most likely a little bit too high. They're really reserving anything. We are seeing then also from Innovation, Leonard here, 175, definitely up into a threshold type heart rate or so. Watching out for Taiwan here, 168 now. And then back at the back here, Emma Elias as well in the B race there. We'll give him a ride on some encouragement as he makes his way to the line coming out of Australia. Van Spinach, I was told to watch out for him. Almost lost the group there. I'm glad we did not, as we did click on somebody way outside. Now Van Spinach we are seeing here 173. Everybody though, it looks like definitely up into a threshold or at least tempo or above. Going from way out though, Van Spinach here, 7.2 watts per kilogram. I think the attacks are going to come left and right at this point, over and over and over again, especially for those who do not want that final sprint finish, or at least to break a few off the back. I think there are definitely some people suffering at this point coming out of the volcano, as that last little kick into it definitely put some people into the hurt locker now. KK Lim now 179 beats per minute going off the front from Innovation. There's the aero power up, trying to break things apart now. This is a last ditch effort before any kind of a sprint, and this is going to soften a lot of the boys up. This is the smartest move actually from Innovation, I think. With so many people amongst this group, with so many strong riders amongst this group, the smartest thing they can do is continue to just throw people off the front, and just have the numbers there to cover anything that anybody would want to try and chase it down with. Break everybody apart and cause mayhem because the numbers are there for the W at this point, and eventually they might just find themselves at the front end of the race after so many attacks. But it looks like Wygan's got power all day long here. 4.8 watts per kilogram, 180 beats per minute though. They're coming into the final half a K. About 500 meters to go here. Nobody off the front at this point. There goes Walker, though, out of Switzerland. The big man out of Switzerland, 192 beats per minute. I thought he didn't have anything left to make this happen. I wasn't going to guess that Walker was going to do it, but it looks like Walker's got 11 watts per kilogram, but the aero power-ups are being thrown, boys and girls, and we know what usually happens with 14 watts per kilogram. Zawadzki has got 190 beats per minute, matched with 14 watts per kilogram and an aero power-up. It's going to be GG. Followed by Dunn, though, after off the back, and then another innovation boy. It is going to be Gooding, I believe, taking third place today in the down under. Huge wattage low there coming from it was, I believe, Zawadzki for the W for innovation. Is Zawadzki actually still riding for innovation? I thought he was previously. I was to double check this though and just make sure I got that right. No, I'm not seeing actually. I thought he was an innovation boy, but he is not. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I think Zawadzki was a part of the E-Crit, and that's what I was mistaking there. So he took a second in the E-Crit actually back on the 4th this past Tuesday. Now takes the W in the race down under here. Solid result there for Zawadzki as they finish up out on course. Let's go ahead and wait up for the results to come through over at zwiftpower.com, as they will update just momentarily. What an effort there from the riders. Solid effort there. And we are seeing here coming from Rogers saying, a lot of conversation actually over there. Pominator, how's it going? On it, cheers. Checking out near Leeds, UK, looking at Kicker Snap right up now. That's awesome, Pominator. Hope to see you out on Watopia, and then we can join up with you for a group ride. D. Cray is saying it's a game. Good to see you over there, D. Cray, as well. Pominator saying, no, done security at TTF Grand Apart in York. Skyride, so much fun. Over at Mixer, Pominator, you've been on security at Tour de France. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Looks like we actually definitely have a few who watch the Tour de France or do security for the Tour de France, actually. That's pretty sweet, Pominator. Good to see you hanging out over at the broadcast on Mixer. Again, appreciations to Mixer for showing up and getting us onto the front page over there. Kim Little saying, GG, boys. Good to see you over at the broadcast over there. Yeah, it was a good game. Very well done there. And you guys, that's what it's all about. I can't say enough about that. We'll get into the C race here in just a second, but really, when it comes to Zwift, it's all about cycling made social. It's all about the pushing of each other, the efforts, the heart rates, the all-out, really getting into the game of putting a sport into an online digital environment and being able to interact with that in such an intense way. And it really is a motivator. That's the thing, is that the social aspect, a lot of times the reason you show up to a local group ride outside, the reason that you show up and you cycle with your buddies or whatever it is, it's the camaraderie and the pushing of yourself that you get through that social sport. And that's what you get through this in digital online environment in a whole new way, in the way that, you know, an esport type situation here that actually takes sport and esport and mixes them together. And you definitely have people over and over again talking about the Zwift effect in their fitness, not just from racing out on Zwift, but also from actually group rides and the encouragement that you get from somebody showing up week in and week out in order to ride with you. We're going to jump into the C category races. They are heading into the final little bits here out on course here. We definitely want to make sure to not only cover the A's, also cover the B and the C categories as much as we possibly can. Zwift Community Live is all about highlighting the Zwift community in total, and we definitely do not want to miss out on the other riders out on course here. We're just talking about it's all about the social environment, all about the effort that's getting put out. It's not just about the big numbers that are being thrown out at the A category level. It's also about the camaraderie as well as the effort thrown down in order to get this awesome workout and result for every level of racing out on Zwift. Pominator says, I'm definitely thinking about it. Thanks for the info and the shout out. No problem, Pominator. Hope to see you out on Zwift soon. All right, so we are seeing here, it looks like we do have D. Hodson right along with Richie. They've been very comfortable. It looks like they dropped one or two off, though, amongst this this C, B category group. Martin there, it looks like, able to hold them off 343 or so. This is going to be the final attacks. We are seeing a little bit of a feather power-up being thrown down here from Casey now. 5.5 watts per kilogram. That's an absolutely huge effort. He does gain 1 watt per kilogram, though, as he makes his way up and over the top of this 2-tier climb here. C category right out of Australia here, trying to make the break in that bikes and beers kit, it looks like. And it looks like he does have a 1 second gap, but with the group chasing him down, I'm not sure it's going to go anywhere. Hodson able to jump right on it there with 3.9 watts per kilogram. 1 second off, though. Doesn't have the draft yet. Sue is there as well, just a little ways off the back. These two might be going now and find themselves off the front and trying to work together to hold off the rest of this group. But Japan now is on the pedals. 4.2 watts per kilogram, gets right back onto the group. We'll give him a ride on as well. We do have SC here coming out of New Zealand now. 3.5 watts per kilogram, able to close it down too. Nobody going anywhere as Richie now makes his way into the back end of this group. Gets pulled right on into it, actually. Maybe the smartest move of all the riders so far. 144 beats per minute or so there coming from Richie. Stu's still in there as well. Still with a group here of 5 or 6, but it is starting getting spread out a little bit here from the New Zealander. SC now causing a little bit of mayhem at the front end, now throwing his chips on the table, but gets pulled right back in as the turn card comes out. Doesn't look like we're going to have anything to the river now at this point. And Sisu now up at the front now, 3.0 watts per kilogram. Who's going to throw down the final effort there for the W out here today? And Amp Mixter EDM saying, could I go to my local bike shop to get the unit, and what's the price? Yes, you definitely can. There's a ton of different trainers, actually, that your bike can hook up to. So it isn't just one unit that you can use. Zwifters really did a good job, actually, about making sure that they're just making software that's compatible with all the hardware that's out there in the world. And so you can actually use it on PC, Mac, iOS, and Android is on its way. So you can get almost any kind of trainer you want to, as long as it can hook up to a power source that is communicated either through speed, which is Z power in the game, and an ANT plus speed sensor, or through power meter or smart trainer, and your bike. And actually I had a buddy who signed up after hanging out on the Twitch channel for a while, and that I knew from real life, who was like, well, how do I do this? He showed up at a local wheel and sprocket expo. They were having a sale. He grabbed like one of the cheapest bikes on the floor as just like kind of a hybrid, and was like, I just want to do this and play games like you do, Nathan. And he actually got like just a simple trainer and a little speed sensor for $30, and he was good to go and going out on the platform. You already got a bike, you got half the battle is done, actually. So hooks up to just about anything over there. I think Darren was asking, or Amp was asking. So Darren's in Ohio, early morning over in Ohio, just like me. 4:40ish a.m. over there in Ohio there, Darren. So now Dodson up toward the front here. It looks like we're still looking at the C and the B category for the W here. They are making their way over around the final corner here in just a second. Coming into the last K, nobody able to get away at this point. We are seeing a drafting power up being popped here. That's kind of interesting, actually. Dodson throwing that down here. I was expecting that to be thrown down a lot later, maybe in more of a spot of bother right now than we thought, actually. 2.7 watts per kilogram, 167 beats per minute, though. Definitely working extremely hard. 169 here coming from Casey. Again, remember, the functional threshold power for the riders that we're looking at right now in this C category is 3.2 or less. So it's going to be between, most likely, 2.5 and 3.2. All of these riders are putting out something well over and over again, over what they can hold for 1 hour. A lot of them are putting out what they can hold for only about probably 10 minutes tops or so, and they've been holding it for quite a while. So as you can see here, Casey now kicking it up, 4.2 watts per kilogram. This is opening up a little bit of a sprint. Being a lead out man, it's not always the best place to be if you want to win the sprint here. 174 beats per minute. This is an absolute pain cave now for him. 160 here coming from SC Sue out of Taiwan, looking for the W here, but the Mana Ziwa in the New Zealand, the Kiwi here up toward the front now, leading things out at 4.6 watts per kilogram, about 1.5 watts per kilogram over his threshold or or more at this point. 4.7, opening up a sprint here, trying to at least, doesn't go anywhere just yet. Now we're seeing Hodson, though. Here comes Hodson in that, is he in that AHDR kit? I think so. Trying to get the W here. Actually, no, Hodson in the green kit here. I think that's a watts per kilogram kit. I'm not sure he's on that team, but here we go. 8.3 now. Looks like he might be able to pull this off. Will he be nipped at the line? Oh, and just at the line there, Sisu comes around Hodson, followed by Birch. I believe that was the finishing order. What an effort there from the Sea Riders. Nice job there. X-Cookie, no, not just a computer game. It is both a computer game and real sport put into the game here, as these riders are controlling their avatars with actual pedal strokes. They're actually putting real power into the pedals in order to power these avatars forward. In the upper left-hand corner, you can see actually the power they are putting out currently. We just left the event. We are part of an event module there. Now we are in open course. So all of the riders who are around, I'm still in the group though, so I will see 55 more in group in the lower left-hand corner no matter what, because I'm still a part of the race. But we are part of the event module, which culls, that takes all the other riders that are out on course out of the race, essentially. You can't see them on the right-hand side, so you're only racing against those who are in your event. Pretty cool feature that Zwift has put in as a part of their events. Kind of like when you go into an instance in a PvP situation, right, versus PvE. PvE is essentially player versus environment, right? And you're out there just hanging out with all the other riders and you're just pushing along. You can get into a PvP situation in an open world, though, in Zwift and start racing each other for jerseys, KOM jerseys or sprint jerseys or epic mountain climb jerseys, etc. But when you get into an event, it's not necessarily a separate instance, but it calls other riders from the rider list around you, so you can't even see them even if that is set up in the event, though. So now we do have a ton of questions coming through actually about this. I know we've played this a few times for those who are really familiar with Zwift over at the Zwift Facebook, but we definitely want people to fully understand what is coming through right now, especially over with all those questions come over at the Mixer channel. So here's a quick little promo video from Zwift that'll give you a really good idea of exactly what is taking place right now. Indoor cycling outdone and cycling made social. That is Zwift. I'm Nathan Garrett coming at you from Zwift Community Live. We were just doing the Kiss Down Under race. We're going to do the results here real quick. We will have Ian Anderson up here in just a moment with his Kiss AM, Kiss America's race, Racer Focus, where you can actually see a race from his point of view. He'll be in the corner where I usually am like this in Zwift, but he will be on a bike instead, racing actually out on Zwift, a part of the Kiss America's race. So a first person point of view coming up here in just a moment, actually, out on Zwift for a race. That'll be coming up in about 10 minutes or so. But the results here from the Kiss Down Under race, let's go ahead and go over them. We did have Linton Zawadzki here with 4.1 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. Solid ride for him with the W in the A race. It's one of his first ones in a while, it looks like, I believe. Let me just double check that. 6 races out on Zwift only, actually. So, no, he's got a lot more than that. We're seeing 6 counted, though. It's interesting. Maybe just recently registering his Zwift profile profile, though. So nice job to him. That's one of his first wins in a while, though, actually. So great. Nice job to Sawatsky. Second place and a third place recently. So good job to him for the W. Aaron Dunn for second place, the current eCrit Series leader over at the East of Australia eCrit Series. Nice job to Aaron on that second place. And thanks for all your tweets out us at Z Community Live. We really appreciate those. Those are a lot of fun there, Aaron. Brody Gooding there taking third from Innovation. Nice job to the Innovation boys. I thought for sure they were going to take the win out there today with so many riders in and amongst the group, but looks like Sawatsky and Dunn were able to get the better of them, but they got the third, fourth, and fifth place and sixth out there today. No, third, fourth, and fifth, excuse me. Followed up by sixth place from Weigan coming out of China. In the B category, Michael Plomier, followed up by Michael Elias, and then Fast Aggie. Nice job, Fast Aggie, for third place out there from Team AHDR. Michael Elias took that second place in the B category from Innovation, followed by Mick Plomier. In the C category, it was Chia Hung Su. Nice job to Sue there. He just nipped it at the line, just ahead of Dylan Hodson, actually. That was such a sprint that we watched there. You can see the replay over at our YouTube or our Twitch, as well as our Mixer, as soon as we're done broadcasting here. But that was really great. That'll probably be actually the replay footage that we do throw out on Twitter here in just a moment, because that was a really good sprint. Mick Ritchie then took third place amongst that C category. Again, great job to all the riders and racers out there. Amazing, amazing, amazing job. Again, things that are coming up here on Zwift Community Live can always be seen over at ZwiftCommunityLive.com, where our schedule is. We also post our schedule and pin it over on our Facebook page, which is linked in the Zwift Facebook post right now. You can find our Facebook page right in above me, most likely somewhere on the Facebook right now. Make sure to like and follow the Facebook page, as well as over on any of our streaming platforms you are following along. Make sure to either hit that subscribe or follow button if you like the Zwift content we are bringing your way. Up next today will be then Kiss Americas with Ian Anderson, followed up later today at 8 p.m. British Standard Time, and that is 2 p.m. CST. I will be covering the KISS Europe race as well, to serve the European and American or U.S. crowd, or anybody else who can jump into those time zones. Tomorrow, we will be doing the Friday Criterium, as well as the Zuskana's Zwift Fitness intro ride, Zwift Fitness Women's Gateway ride. That rides all about 1.5 watts per kilogram. Very introductory, all about chatting, riding, hanging out, and the camaraderie of bettering yourselves through the power of bicycles, specifically for women. So if you'd like to jump into that, make sure to check it out over at our Zwift Community Live schedule, or also Zwift.com/events has that as well. And if you're wondering more about women's cycling, what Zwift is doing about it, let's go ahead and look one more time over at the launch of the Zwift Academy and what that's all about. And then we will get over to Ian Anderson. Our stream will stop momentarily, and then we will go live back over at Zwift Community Live's Facebook, as well as Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. We'll be right back after a few of these little promos. Thanks a lot for everybody tuning in, and as always, right on.
Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence, in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
Good morning, welcome to the KRT Racer Focus here on Zwift Community Live. My name's Ian Anderson, getting pumped up with some new tunes in the background here. Let me know if the balance is all good to go. The audio is probably the most challenging thing to figure out when you're streaming. Looks like my voice is coming through okay. So let me know how that's all working out. We got 90 seconds to the start right now, and it looks like I am not on the screen, so we'll fix that. There you go. Should be better. As I said earlier, welcome to a KRT Racer Focus here on Zwift Community Live. And just working on the technical thing right here with 60 seconds to go, but we'll get it all sorted out. We're gonna adjust the balance here. Hang on one second. This is a brand new thing. Yeah. I see what you mean, Johnny. Sounds like I just put the mic right in front of the fan, so that was no good. Looking at my levels. That should be a little bit better here. I think we've got it. 20 seconds to go. Here we go. 15 seconds. Johnny, that's about all I can do for now. Thanks, guys. All right, 10 seconds to go. We got 4 laps of the Volcano flat. So I'm 200 pounds. This is my jam for sure. Gotta stay near the front though, because it is a ravenous race here. We got many teammates in. I have no heart rate, it's broken. I sweat right through it. Corroded the button on the strap. So that's why I don't have any heart rate data. Got a lot of hitters in this race too. Julian Beyer from Team X. We got Soxenham. Daffod's here. Hodges is here. So we're gonna have some fun today, for sure. Yeah, Russell, I have a new one on order. Honestly, I'll tell you this much. When I do get one, I'm gonna put a sticky note over the beats per minute so that you guys can see still in the stream how hard I'm hurting, and so that I can't see how hard I'm hurting, is I think I make too many decisions on heart rate when I'm on the trainer. And when I get outside, I'm pegged at like 170 the whole time. So, and I rarely get over that inside. So that's just the way it is. I guess. So yeah, big group here. We got a course that has, I'm thinking about how many spots there are. You really got to be on top of it. If you get dropped, we're going 30 miles an hour. There's no coming back from that, unless you have James Hodges to tow you. But that's not pleasant either, because even though it's really nice of him to do for me, it hurts. Anyway, you got to focus here coming out of the tunnel, of course. Anytime there's a gradient in Zwift, that's really where those who are attacking can make it count. And sometimes the best defense is offense. So you kind of want to be pushing it as well, as if you were attacking. Second spot you got to worry about is basically the false flats through the junction to the Italian village. That's a long spot. It's probably a good third of the lap. But again, there's a small gradient, and that can separate the bunch. You can get it lined out, and you get elastic starting to snap. The third spot is the Volcano Climb. Ain't much of a climb. It's a lot like the one coming up here out of the tunnel. So going under the Jarvis tree, feel pretty good. We got 4 laps to go, almost 30 miles of racing total, actually more than 30. So watch what myself and my teammates do here. There's also no downgrade on the other side, so it's more important to keep something on reserve over the top. I got Lookman excited. All right, now just trying to recover. We have a gap, but it ain't gonna stick. There goes Julian, counterattack. Now I can't see. Like I said, see how it's lined out? If you're not moving up here, you're moving back. Here's Otto on my team. Do 420 watts here. Remember, I weigh 200 pounds, so it's not too cray. This is where you really need that music doping to to stay on it, stay on top of the pedals. So, you see how I got to the front, but I didn't like ease off. I don't want to drift, because this is where the elastic really will go. There goes James again. Do not chase him, guys. Teammates, that was my mistake. Don't chase him. Yeah, we don't have communication set up really for this race. It's good though. He'll get Luckman a little tired up there. Gotta get some comms set up. This retaining wall on the right, it's another landmark of the false flat. Really got to push around any curve because you're going to lose spots. I don't know, guys, is it coming back? Whoops. Thanks, Fast Rescue. I think it's coming back. I was thinking about jumping across, but it's too early. So I see myself on the back of the boot. Gotta move up right now. Some of these guys are just tail gunning and they will get you dropped. So you see that, just a short little swift kick. And then ease off before you get actually to the front. And then right back on the pedals. You gotta maintain that position you just jumped for. Thanks Azim for the good luck wishes. Just catching up with all the comments here. A lot of pressure because I'm always getting dropped on the climbing routes. Oh, it's my teammate Sticky Bottle's birthday. Cool. Happy birthday to Sticky. A little calmer spot here. We're just gearing up for the Volcano Climb. 2 parts, a steeper bit, flattens out, and then a ramp up to the summit. It's about a 30-second effort. That's why I can still stay with it most of the time, unless like Adam Webb or Scotty Weiss just crushes it. But I'm gonna let my teammates deal with that stuff. I just need to stay in the right group, but protected. Save all that nonsense for the last lap. Definitely want a good spot here because about 5 people will get dropped. They're gonna be dropped like a dropper pose too. Full pneumatics out the back. So you wanna be in the first 10 or so wheels, but don't lay down the pace at the bottom. Save that bit for the top. Here they go. Just trying to stay in my spot. You don't want to set it at the bottom and blow up. Yeah, Sticky, come around. Here we go. So I'm watching the helmets, the heads, see where they're going. Looking up the road, see a teammate off. It's James again. Let him go, guys, let him go. So see Oxename here, affectionately known as Oxename. He's just sitting in. He's gonna blow us all away at some point. There's James back. All right. Just recovering a bit, I feel good. Can't let your attention lapse. Once we get to 1K to go, there's a little bump, and then all the traffic. Well, actually, I think the race is the only thing on our course right now, so everything else is invisible, I believe. But if you're not in an invisible race like this one, a lot of the other traffic on the course will be out by the start finish, and you get the wrong wheel, you can be dropped there in the downhill. So just something to think about if you're not in a closed course race. All right, I'm checking through. Yep, it broke. Heart rate broke. I literally sweat right through the button. It corroded, it snapped. Got a new one on order. This is the spot I'm talking about. A lot of traffic here usually. There's Ali, Coach O. Williams, he's strong as well. Hey, Rogers. Rogers, you talking about an FTP test? Sounds like it. Roger's over here on Twitch. Roger's 1000. A regular. Alright, see how it's been mundane for a bit? Nothing's really happened? That means hold your horses. It's gonna happen soon. If I'm bored, there's probably sometimes somebody 5 times more bored. They're gonna light it up. So you gotta be watching. Can't get distracted by these comments. Roger's doing his FTP tomorrow. I haven't tested FTP in almost 6 months. I don't dig that test so much. One of the great ways to test though is using one of our individual time trial races. Everybody's on a TT bike, so there's no drafting, but you all start together. So there's like always going to be somebody in front of you and somebody behind you to chase. So that gives you enough motivation, at least for me, to set an all-time best 20-minute power. Which, if you're wondering, is 377. And that was for 23 minutes. So that puts me at about 360. Anyway, like I said, gotta stay focused. We're in lap 2 here of lap 4. Got 4 laps. 3 full laps to go. Really wanna watch out because I bet there's some people, especially climber types, lightweight rollers in this group that want to get rid of the sprinters here. So we got to be vigilant. As a heavier rider, got to be ready. But I'm just cruising at tempo right now. Got my music trapping hard. I'm sweating. But yeah, Rogers, let them know I weigh 200 pounds. So, what's that, like 89, 90 kilo? So as soon as we go over a hill, it's all over. If I could get some strong guys in a break, I would do it. My teammates have been a little ravenous so far, kind of chasing one another down a little bit. All right, so we're past the tree. Means the climb is coming. What makes this climb is the flats after it. So you got to be able to hold it over the flats. Didn't work. So Lookman, Ascenders, Hodges, and Soxenham. Thought that was the bunch to go. We're all caught. Kind of annoying that my teammates all chased that down. Again. Good job to Hodges for keep trying stuff. Gotta stay on it though in this section because it's all slightly uphill. I thought Daffod was here, that's a different guy. It's Ali. Coach O. Williams. I do have comments up, guys, but I can't look. I always get dropped when I look. Here goes James again. There we go, better guys, better. You want to make people think you're chasing, but not actually chase, which is art. Oh, it's all Rogers. Hey, Rogers. Yeah, racing here. Got 18 miles to go. Just about halfway there. Still got a big old bunch here. People always ask if it's for charity. Sometimes, but not this time. Sometimes we do Zwift rides for charity. This is just a community race. Got my teammates in matching kit, so we're gonna work for each other to set up for the best result. Yeah, we got Z Power Ranger up here on the front. Got a little bit of a climb here. All right, guys, got to stay focused. I'm out of position here. Hang on 1 second, guys. All right, just had to adjust my contact area. So almost done with 2 laps, almost halfway there. Rough going. I'm already through 750 ml of water. We're getting pretty good recovery. Group is slowly getting smaller. Yeah, Nathan's super fast, man. If I was that fast, I wouldn't worry about spelling either. Nathan just was on a team that won a bike race around Iceland, which is sweet. He said it was like doing 11 FTP tests back to back in like a 36-hour period. So check out the Zwiftcast.com for a little bit of a recap on that. And then also the Cyclothon Iceland is the race he did. Soxenham has had enough. Uh-oh. Is he gonna drop off, or is he gonna go nuclear and attack us? I don't know. Stay tuned to find out. All right, lap 3. Hey, Frank. Hey, Facebook. Steve, did you have a comment? How long have I been riding? Steve, sorry I didn't answer you earlier. I have been training since autumn of 2015. So I'm coming up on 2 years training. On Zwift at least. Before that I was not serious. Did not have power. I like to go fast. I didn't even know what fast meant. And now, thanks to Nathan, thanks to GCN, and a little event they put on, I decided I wanted to go in and get Zwift. So I did. And through a lot of these races, I've done over 160 of them. I've gotten fit very much at the FTP level. I mean, I'm riding like hardly even tempo right now, but some of these, when you get a smaller group, it's less forgiving. So you have to stay on it. And those are rides where I'll do like 335 normalized power for like an hour and 15 minutes. But I weigh like 200 pounds. So my nerves are up. Something's gonna happen on this climb. You can see how nobody's really holding position. So everybody's trying to kind of rest. Nobody wants to poke out onto the front. There we go. Not too bad. little disorganized now. Go, Jerome, snap it. No. Breakaway over. Pardon my mess. Zwift racing can get a little nasty sometimes. Yeah, Russell. Russell says it's only pain. That's right. Yep. A little out of position here. Coming into lap 4. Thanks, Rinser down. It's time to rage, guys. One bottle down. All right, stay in focus, stay in focus. Eyes on the prize. Yeah, calm down, Lookman. I'm not gonna start talking about your issues. It's broken. Good to go, good to go. Stream all back. I had no idea what was going on. OBS is free, so we gotta take it for what it is. Don't chase your teammates. Getting tense. Oh man, this is something. Oh boy, guys. This is something. Good job, Brian. Yo, Bunkin, don't drop me if you're not fit enough. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm still out of breath from that bridge effort. Justin Fraser, I'm 6'4". I'm not very aerodynamic either. A lot of frontal, but I think I know what you mean. Oh my gosh. Oh, Neon, thanks. That's great to hear it. I'm up. It's about 7 a.m. right now, local time. Some of the guys on here, the ladies on here, super inspiration to me. So, great community we got here at Zwift. We're just pedaling in easy now because Jerome and I are dropped. We don't need to race each other. Okay, now we're racing. Ah. Ah. Well, apparently Rage Against the Machine only has 2 popular songs on Spotify. All the other songs are there, but the ones they think are popular are not ones I think are popular. So, why not just go riding, Sonny? It's raining. It's raining. And I didn't use any brakes. I literally did not stop pedaling once for 1 entire hour. That's why. It's really quality training on the trainer, and Zwift is a great way to motivate. To stay up there, to stay on top of your fitness. Again, guys, sorry for no talking. I made it pretty far with the talking. Usually, once you get to a certain point of blowing up, of just kind of being on the rivet, gagging, you know, that sort of thing, it just is hard to talk. And when I look over at the comments, I get dropped. So you really got to stay focused. You know, if you were riding your bike in a bunch, you wouldn't just look down at your phone, because you're going to run into somebody or you're going to miss an acceleration. So that's why I just couldn't keep focused in two places at once. But just to recap a little bit, usually there's a heart rate data piece out there in the top left corner of your screen. Didn't have that today. I actually broke my heart rate monitor. I sweat through the button that snaps it together, so it's like a strap, right? And it has buttons on two sides of a little pod. The pod measures your heart rate. The buttons create electrical contact through like sort of a bond through your sweat to your skin. And they get sweaty, and I rusted through them. They corroded. So that's why I don't have heart rate today. But I did learn something today and on Tuesday, my other broadcast, that I'm just gonna put a sticky note over the heart rate thing on my screen, because when I can't see it, I don't make any decisions based on heart rate. And when you make those decisions, you sometimes sell yourself short of what you're really capable of. Neon, thanks for telling me I did really well. I'm happy I stayed with it for so long. Man, when you get some of those European hitters out, the guys that can drop James Hodges, it's like a whole nother race, and it's much harder to stay in the front. But when you do get to stay in the front like I did today, you really get pushed for longer. So it's much easier to just sort of cool it. And hey, Lindsay. Lindsay Garrett just gave me a ride on. I do appreciate the ride-ons. If you're on Zwift, just follow me there on the app. Just search for Ian Anderson. I got a picture of me. Just give me a follow. You can set it up for notifications so that whenever I get on, you can know that I'm riding if you want to ride with me. If I'm not doing a race or something, or race with me, I'm always here Tuesdays and Thursdays, roughly 6 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Central. Put my schedule up in a second. I'm going to do a little bit of cooling down here to loosen up the legs. If you have any questions about Zwift, of course, you can drop us a message on Facebook at Zwift Community Live, or find me on there, send me a message request, and be glad to answer your questions. That's it for me for the Racer Focus. We'll be back with a couple more segments today. Check the schedule there on our Facebook page. I know at least the KISS Europe race is going down, and that's going to be a fun one to watch because it is a flat race. It's going to stay together. A lot of attacks. It's going to be brutal. I think there's another segment on. Not totally sure what it is. I don't want to misspeak. But hey, keep it locked here in Zwift Community Live. We'll be back later today. All right, everyone. Take care. And as always, ride on.